One thing you don't have really, at least not what I would consider budget, is any budget forward. So the likes of Jota, Calvert-Lewin, Pookie. Is it just a case of not being able to fit them in, or is Rashford just the kind of player you really want going forward?
Well, Rashford's actually much like Manny, I suppose, is someone I'm not too sure about. So I'm definitely going to get Fernandez. I'm definitely going to get one of Maguire or Wan-Bissaka. The third United slot is something I'm not sure about, whether I even want one and who that is going to be. So Martial's obviously an alternative. I could save something like 0.8
Yeah,
on
zero point 0.8
Rashford for
million. Yeah.
Martial. And you worry about Rashford's minutes maybe come back from a long-term injury. We've heard from Solskjaer before the Spurs game saying that he's not going to flog his players, especially those who've just come back with the fixtures coming thick and fast. And it hasn't been a proper pre-season really. So it's a bit of an audition period, I suppose, the Friday game against Spurs. I'll be keeping a keen eye on that. I haven't got any representation from that game in me double game week 30 squad, but I'll be watching Son, I'll be watching Rashford. I'll be seeing if Wan-Bissaka's attacking output has improved. There were signs of that. I know he's been maligned for that ever since he was signed by United, but there were signs of that improving, I think, just before the lockdown ended. I think he got a couple of assists. I had a look at his stats, his take-ons, his chances created, his crosses were all up after Christmas. I just think Maguire's maybe the more secure, because Wan-Bissaka got rested over Christmas actually in one of the games. Maguire does offer a bit of a goal threat, and now he's got Fernandez whipping those balls in from set players. He scored from one. Was it the Chelsea game?
I believe so.
Fernandez, yeah, from Fernandez corner. And I had a look past through the live text commentary in previous games, and the amount of times he's been on the end of a Fernandez corner is promising. So I think I'll go Maguire and Fernandez as me two definites from United. Rashford could potentially be downgraded if I wanted to. The thing I don't like about Calvert-Lewin is his fixtures.
Yeah, agreed.
Up until 36. I think I will be getting in or looking towards him in 36. But then again, Everton are one of those teams who are comfortably mid-table, probably not going to threaten the European spots now. And you wonder whether the likes of Keane would be given game time closer to the end of the season. He might be on his way out of Everton anyway, so you don't know. But yeah, there's a few things to think about. These aren't necessarily picks for all the way through to 38. So Rashford could potentially wait till. I mean, the 31 class for Sheffield United isn't great from an attacking perspective, given how good Sheffield United are. So he could wait for maybe 32 or 33 to come in. And then I could look at Calvert-Lewin for the last three. I could look at Ings for the last three. Southampton's got three very good or decent fixtures in the last three. They'll be fighting for their lives, I would think. And you would hope that Ings by that point would be too good to rest, because I know Hasenhutl's done that in the past. But if they are scrapping for points right at the end of the season, then you can't really be resting your top goal scorer. So there are teams with better fixtures the closer you get to the end of the season. West Ham being another one. I'll have my eye on Jared Bowen. I think he impressed me before Premier League halted in March. Antonio possibly as well. But yeah, Rashford's a bit of a placeholder until I see the Spurs game and see his involvement, how he links up with Fernandez, and how many minutes Solskjaer's given him. But I do like a look at that United side. Yeah. I don't think Fernandez is a cure-all for all of the problems. But it is Solskjaer still at the helm, and the jury maybe still out on him a bit. But those fixtures are, I think, unquestionably the best in the division. I don't think there's maybe Man City beyond 32, but for a chunk of games, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of things there. Like, I can't tell you, having watched Man United try and cross a ball from a corner for so long before Fernandez and not be able to beat the first man. Like, he will make a huge difference set piece. That's one of the reasons I've got Maguire in. You're right about Wan-Bissaka, though. Had improved, and he even... Obviously, you expect players to always try and improve, but he did make a point of saying that as well during kind of lockdown. He has looked to try and improve. Now, how much you can really do in lockdown when you've not got like a whole team to cross to, etc., I don't know, but it is something on his mind. So yeah, I do think that's a good point for Man United players, and a lot of people are going to go kind of 2 or 3. So the one thing I'll say as well about the Sheffield United game, which is interesting, I think I could be wrong because I've only just thought of it. I think Man United are the only team to put more than 2 goals past Sheffield United this year, and one of the
Yeah,
reasons could be no Dean Henderson. I
yeah,
can't remember the goals and how they went in, but Sheffield United should have conceded last night. He was the
yeah,
key reason they didn't, and I think David's mentioned before about how much kind of expected goals he's stopped. He's the
yeah.
top. Before this week, he was the top, so that could be a big thing. Because I also don't like Sheffield United as a fixture to target goals, but for Man United, it might be a little bit easier. So that's something to consider. One thing,
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, I think the other absentee they had in that game was John Egan at centre half, and I think they played Jagielka. And as far as I can remember, I think he was caught flat-footed for at least one of the goals. So that would be considering as well. But I think, yeah, definitely that is something to think about. If it's who would it be? Moore possibly deputising for him. So yeah, good point. I hadn't considered that, but yeah, that's makes me feel a bit better actually.
yeah, maybe I'm
In that case.
clutching at straws and it won't make a difference. But yeah, it's something I just thought of when you mentioned that about playing Sheffield United.